So Arjuna's reason, one of the reasons for not fighting, he thinks, I won't be happy, I won't enjoy it, the kingdom, I won't enjoy it. Why not? Because I've killed everyone, I killed all the kinsmen, so I won't be able to enjoy it. So this is his thinking. It's difficult to take the position of a Kshatriya, how they have to be, how they have to live by the moral codes, how they have to be so controlled by their duty as a Kshatriya. The Prabhupada mentioned, one is they should die on the battlefield. That is a glorious death. If they die on the battlefield, that's very wonderful for a Kshatriya. Then they can go to heaven. And if Krishna is present, then it's very good for them. They can really get a good destination. So for a Kshatriya, for a Kshatriya to kill people, it's not sinful. Because it's his duty as a Kshatriya. He's been challenged to fight. He has to accept the challenge. He cannot refuse. Just like gambling also. When the Kshatriya is challenged to gamble, he cannot refuse. He has to take the challenge. If he doesn't take the challenge, then he's considered cowardly. And that's very bad for a Kshatriya to be known as a coward. Then that's very disgraceful.
Guru Maharaj, what does it mean by sun globe?
The sun globe? Well, the sun planet. On the sun planet, the sun planet is one of the higher planets in the universe. There's the heavenly planets, and the sun planet is up there, and there's residences, there's living entities also on the sun planet. We may be surprised, how can they live on the sun planet? It's all fire. But within the fire, there are living entities. Just like there's the sun god. In the sun god, there's also the citizens of the sun planet. And they all have bodies of fire. Our body is made of earth and water and things. We have a little fire in the belly. But on the sun planet, the living entities have a fire body. So to go to the sun planet, it's like a heavenly destination. It's a heavenly planet. You can live a longer time there, a better standard of life. We find it difficult to think about going to the sun planet. Just like you live in Switzerland, probably you get more snow and things like that, and people dream about going to Hawaii. Hawaii beaches and sunshine and everything, not so cold. One devotee was just here in Mayapur. They were telling me they're from Sikkim. And he said Sikkim's always very cold there. And so you live in a cold place, people live in the cold place, they often like to go to the warmer place. But sometimes they find it too warm. They're not used to it. It's uncomfortable. So anyway, we're on the Earth planet, and there's higher planets, the Moon planet, the Sun planet, they're heavenly planets. So when you do a lot of pious activities, then you qualify to go to the higher planets.
Now I understood, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Would you like to go now? Would you like to go to the sun globe?
Guru Maharaj, yeah. But if sorry. Yeah, I have a doubt that if suppose a Kshatriya, he is not having a dharma yuddha, means he is just fighting just to capture the enemies. It is not. It cannot be justified. Will that king also go to the heavenly planets because he is unnecessarily creating a fight?
Well, you have to consider the circumstances. For in the case of the Pandavas, they tried their best to avoid the fight, but they could not. So under the situation, they were forced to fight. So they have to accept the challenge. They have to go and fight. Even though that they don't have an equal army, an army equal in strength to the size of the army of the Kauravas, but still they're challenged to the fight. They have to go and fight. And if they don't fight, then it's a disgrace. They're considered cowards. So very important for them to accept the challenge.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
And for the Kshatriya, fighting in battle and killing people is not sinful. Even in present time, if you fight for the country, the soldier goes to fight and he kills maybe he kills some terrorists or something, then he's given glory. He's glorified. He's considered a hero.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
I heard about one incident. There was a train coming from Mumbai or somewhere, and it came through some place, and some gang of people got on the train and they began to rob everyone. They began to rob everyone, and they were going to rape some young girl as well and everything. And there was one Gurkha soldier there, and he had his knife with him. He had this knife, and he fought with them, and he killed about 5 of these people. So he was given rewards because because he saved all these people. Finally the police came and took all the gang away and everything. But the man who killed all these people, killed about 5 of these robbers, these dacoits, he was a hero. He saved the young woman from being raped, and the people were able to get their valuables back and everything. So everything depends on the time and the place and the circumstances.
Yes, Guru.
So remember, this is Dharma Yudh. So they're fighting according to religious principles. Supposed to be anyway. It began like that. It began as a Dharma Yudh, but after they killed Abhimanyu, they killed Abhimanyu in a very unfair manner. So after that time, then they didn't follow so strictly. And you have Arjuna killing Karna. Karna was off the chariot, but Krishna told Arjuna, kill him. And Karna said, no, it's not fair, I'm not equal, but it's not fair, you're not giving me. But they told Karna that, well, nobody gave any mercy to Abhimanyu, why should we give you any mercy? So they killed him. And then they tricked also with Drona. They told Drona Ashwatthama is dead. And in this way they could kill Drona. So there was a lot of cheating going on. But it was supposed to be Dharma Yudh. In the beginning they were fighting fairly. But that's the problem. That the mode of passion, it easily degrades to the mode of ignorance. But because Krishna is present, so Krishna purifies everything. In the presence of Lord Krishna, all the people who died, they were all liberated. Okay, we'll go to the next verse.
Okay, 32nd to 35. किं नो राजेन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषामर्थे कंक्षितं नो राज्यं भोगशुकानि च ता इमे अवस्थिता युद्धे प्रणांस्त्वक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्यपितरपुत्रस्तथैव च पितामहः मातुलः स्वश्रुहा पौत्र स्वलय सम्बन्धिनास्तथा एतान्न हन्त्युम् इच्छामि Gnanatu api madhusudana api trailokya rajasya heto kim no mahi krite nihatya dhritarashtrana kapitri swaya janardana. Translation?
Yeah.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Nitya, do you want to read? Translation?
Yes, I will read. O Govinda, of what avail to us or a kingdom, happiness or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, father-in-law, grandsons, brother-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me, O maintainer of all the living entities? I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds. Let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Shall I continue with purpose?
Yes.
Perfect. So, Arjuna addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of all pleasures for cows and the senses. By using this significant word, Arjuna indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjuna's senses, but Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. If we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, however, they automatically our own senses are satisfied. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses and he wants God to be the order supplier for such satisfaction. The Lord will satisfy the senses of the living entities as much as they deserve, but not to the extent that they may forward. But when one takes the opposite way, namely when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, then by the grace of Govinda, all desires of the living entities are satisfied. Arjuna's deep affection of community and family members is exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion for them. He is therefore not prepared to fight. Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that all his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is a typical calculation of material life. The transcendental life, however, is different. Since the devotee wants to satisfy the desire of Lord, he can, Lord willing, accept all kinds of opulence for the service of Lord. And if the Lord is not willing, he should not accept. As fasting. Arjuna did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna kill them personally. At this point, he did not know that Krishna had already killed them before they are coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Krishna. This fact is disclosed in the following chapter. As a natural devotee of Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotee by the miscreants. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them.
Okay, so a lot of points here. Maybe Prabhupada is describing how we all want to satisfy our senses, but it said the process is We should satisfy Krishna's senses. So that's why Krishna is called Govinda. If we satisfy Govinda, then everyone's senses will become satisfied. The problem is we are all selfish. We all think, what about me? What I want? We want to please ourselves. We don't think about God. We don't think about Govinda. We're thinking about me. But we should understand we are also part of Govinda. And if we please Govinda, then everyone, not only us, but everyone will be pleased. Right? So that's one point. And then Prabhupada talks about Arjuna's feeling, his attachment for the community and family members. This is compassion. So this is another reason why Arjuna didn't want to fight. His feeling of compassion for his family and for the community. Oh, I have to help them. So Arjuna's feeling of compassion is based on the body. But real compassion is for the soul. We should think how to elevate the soul. We cannot save the body from death. Everyone's going to die. We should have compassion on the soul. So that's one reason. And another reason why Arjuna didn't want to fight, he said that Prabhupada says how everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives. But Arjuna fears the friends and relatives will be killed, so he'll be unable to share his opulence after victory. So he wouldn't enjoy the opulence, he wouldn't be able to share it with anyone. So he's thinking this is not a good, he won't be happy, he doesn't want to fight. The devotee wants to satisfy Krishna's desires. So Krishna is not, what it said, Krishna at the end he said, the Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but when someone does harm to his devotees, then Krishna cannot forgive them. The point is that someone offends a devotee, then the devotees are in Krishna's heart, and Krishna is really heartbroken because someone has not been nice. Remember what happened to Draupadi, how she was treated, they tried to take off her cloth, they tried to disgrace her in front of so many other kings. So that was terrible how they treated Draupadi. So Krishna wants these people who have done this, he wants that they should all be punished for this.
Hare Krishna.